Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Wizards of K's got the flow, the game never clear. A journey begins. From FPS battles to the undead's reign, he thrives where others feel the strain. It's not just a game, it's a way to survive. With every move he's staying alive, leading the charge, blazing the trail. In this world of chaos he never fails. Wizards of K lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his world's done. Is done. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Headshots of K's got the flow, the game, every click, the journey begins. From FPS battles to the undead's reign, he thrives where others feel the strain. It's not just a game, it's a way to survive. With every move he's staying alive, leading the charge, blazing the trail. In this world of chaos he never fails. Wizards of K lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his work is done. Wizards of K lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his work is done. Is done. Locked and loaded, it's time to dive into a world where the dead don't lie. Fighting through the night, never alone. Headshots and glory, blood and bone.
Oh, that's smart. I didn't even... Oh, shit. Why is it streaming that tab? The fuck? Stream the other one. There you go. Alright, hello. Hello. We are just waiting for them to start. I basically just decided to start this early, just so we can get in on time. I realised there was actually an ad at the start of this stream, but I just turned them off, just so we don't get interrupted. So, yeah, we are basically just waiting on them now. And as soon as, they do start, we will go full screen and watch. Hopefully they don't hit us with ads, so that'll be interesting watch, having it with ads. So, yeah, we're just going to wait a few more minutes. How is everybody feeling about this? Hopefully you're actually all excited. The mod that banned me in the floor 3 Discord. Yeah, this chat is a bit weird. They bring stalkers back, hopefully. I wonder if she Faye's there. Who's that? Feels like it's said time. Only 2 more minutes. Anyway, just waiting on them. It feels like an eternity. Hopefully they actually start on time, because I know Tripwire can be a bit weird with their streams. And, I've already started, I think. Let me just check. Am I still streaming? Let me just check. Yeah, looks like I am still live. I think, yeah, I'm still live. Just... yeah, I've got another minute. So hopefully you'll get something good. We already had the release date of July 12th, which is actually quite exciting. So far it's been like a 4-month delay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Starting. Hopefully the audio's okay for everybody. If it is a little quiet, just say. I will be commentating over this too, so if you want to watch the original, I have linked it in the description. Just my reaction to it. I've been waiting for weeks for this. I really hope it is worth it. Oh, just give us something good. That's all I ask. Hopefully we get another beta. Would be quite cool, like a closed beta or open beta. Before we do get the game in July 24th. There we go. That's Prime.
I saw a timer going, and I was like, I guess we need to start going. I don't know if it's a small bomb.
I think that's what that means.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out here today. I really appreciate it. We have got a little bit of a sneak peek into what it takes to make some levels.
Quality's a bit
and some
fuzzy,
design
but
elements
it's fine.
within Killing Floor 3. So I'm going to pass it over to Trent here, and he's going to fire up this deck, and we'll start to go through it. So quick introduction. My name is Brian Wanya, and I am Tripwire's Studio Creative Director.
My name is Chris Goodwin. I'm the lead level designer.
I'm Jared Creasy, Senior Community Manager at Tripwire. You might know me better online as Yoshiro if you hang out in our Discord or various forums.
Thought I recognised him.
And I'm Trenton Mendoza. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at Tripwire. It's been a little bit since we've had Killing Floor at PAX, so we're super excited to give you a sneak peek behind the curtain here.
Yeah, I'm seeing my teeth like that. I will preface that those were fake teeth that our UI guys just made look like my real teeth. So definitely double guessing that thought now. All right, let's move over to building a dystopian world. Let's talk a little bit about what dystopia means and what dystopia means within Killing Floor 3, right? How many of you guys are fans of Killing Floor? Hopefully a few, and you didn't just, okay, awkwardly show up. Awesome. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's always been very challenging when someone's like, tell me about your zombie game. And it's like, they're Zeds, they're not zombies, right? I hate to be that guy, but like there's a pretty clear delineation between like a bioengineered monster and the undead. So when we started Killing Floor 3, we were basically talking about if we go post-apocalyptic, that will kind of feed into some of those zombie tropes that might be too much for what we want to do. So we asked ourselves the question of what would happen if Horizon only grew in power over time. Basically, like what would happen if like Walt Disney Company started making Zeds and monsters, right? So they're manufacturing our food, they're manufacturing our cities, they're manufacturing, monsters as well, and we just don't really talk about that part. If there's an outbreak,
hoping they bring back some of the KF2 songs back to KF3. So yeah, they've already announced they're not.
Dystopia in Killing Floor 3.
I think.
So everything starts with inspiration. I'm going to date myself as a very nerdy 42-year-old horror fan. If you guys haven't seen a lot of these movies on here, I highly suggest it.
Yeah, there's some good movies.
One of the things that we very first started was I came to Chris and his team and was like, I would love to fight Zeds in a sewer. And it was Corey, I believe?
Yeah, our principal LD.
Yeah, Corey, who's also a member from the modding community that joined Tripwire. He wrote up just this really simple brief that kind of became the starting off point while I just got to watch horror movies. Sorry, Matt. There was a day that my kids were like, do you just watch movies? Are you homesick? And I'm like, it's my job. Leave me alone. So I highly suggest watching Chud. We won't go into any details, but it is my fan theory that that is a prequel to Home Alone. I'll let you figure that out. You've got Mimic. You've got the 1980s version of The Blob. There's a little bit of
Demon Hunter said they're not working with Tripwire for Killing Floor 3 for unknown reasons.
Presenting a pretty scary sewer.
I expected they'd bring some of the weapons from Killing Floor 2. They might do, actually. Surely they bring some back.
Work a lot, so that was kind of fun. We're still handling the HR paperwork. All right, so after inspiration comes reference, right? It's one thing to ingest
So it's
video
some out of
games
back
and
rooms.
movies and pop culture and all these items, but how do we make it our own? How are we not just making Mimic, or how are we not just making Chud, right? So we start looking at real world references. This goes for our maps, this goes for our Zeds, this goes for weapons, right? Like, for example, the crawler is a combination of a lot of arachnid, all right? And even if you like look at close-up elements of it, like teeth, inspiration for the teeth on the crawler actually came from x-rays from adolescents, because a lot of kids, you know, if you look at their x-rays, they basically have multiple rows of teeth. So there's your kind of creepy, weird, sad inspiration and reference for the crawler mouth. Chris, you found the image on the lower left. What is that from?
Yeah, we've got a Japanese flood control center, and this is subterranean below the city to help deal with overflow of floodwater. And it kind of looks like the mines of Moria, which I always thought was a really
Also looks like some out of the back rooms.
Gandalf is in the crowd right now, so I'm sorry for the flashbacks. Gandalf clearly is like, the horror of this space.
Don't speak to it.
Let's just say the dwarves aren't the only ones who have gone too deep.
Yeah, but that reference really helped us. Like, we also knew that we wanted the spread and power of Horzine to spread throughout the globe. Right?
Mongo's
So
still
a lot of
there,
the
I
maps that
think.
you guys have seen are now based in
And
the
that
US, where
whiteboard.
Horzine has relocated their primary headquarters, but there are some horror business happening in the sewers of Japan as well. So once we move from inspiration into reference, we then move into concept art, right? Concept art is basically to inform and inspire the team. These were done by our really talented lead concept artist, Hakab. His image is literally just like ooze KF. He was doing, it's interesting. We gathered some inspiration for KF3 like the first week we started the project, and unknowingly I found some art online that I really liked, and it was Hakab. So then when Hakab joined the team like a few years later, I was like, let me show you some stuff that inspired us. He's like, yeah, I did those. And we were like, that's why you're here. So thank you, Hakab. When doing concept art, not only is he kind of laying out the mood, the tone,
nice.
the lighting, the materials, the textures, there's also then individual call-outs. One of the things that's new for Killing Floor 3 are environmental traps. And I wouldn't necessarily, they're new
Killing
'cause
Floor
you
2
kind
does
of
it
mentioned
anyway,
them
but
for
We
Monsters
had,
Ball, right?
Yeah, with KF2 and Monsters Ball, we had a handful of traps, and we had some people kind of first start prototyping that stuff out, and
Yep.
had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, so when we were kind of playtesting KF2 really early on, we knew that was a feature that we wanted to build upon in KF3. So
yeah, I thought it
the
was on
image you kind of see
KF2.
in the lower right there, that's a very early version of the trap for this space. And at this point, it was kind of this like giant steam pressure system that you could use the multi-tool, which is one of the new tools that any character in the game can use. So if you kind of see something yellow in the world, you can use this multi-tool to either unlock zip lines, unlock turrets, unlock map-specific traps like this one, but you'll see later how it kind of grew and evolved over time. All right, this one is
This
a
looks
pretty cool
cool.
element of taking that reference, taking that inspiration to kind of culminate into one of the ultimate things. This is one of our vistas. Vistas are a space that kind of help communicate where you're at and what's going on. If you're a fan of KF2, Burning Paris, and you look out and you see the Eiffel Tower burning, really good example of a vista. So for KF3, being in these sewers, kind of communicating that inspiration of the Japanese sewer water system, there is a new system or a new element, I would say, with inside Killing Floor 3 called the Mire. I won't go into a ton of detail, so any of you lore hounds, this is something we're really excited about. Horzine is experimenting with this kind of like natural occurring substance called the Mire. What happens when you use Mire in Zeds? What happens if you use Mire with people? If any of you guys, like during the beta or have seen online, like the Chimera, that's kind of the most advanced form of combining human DNA and the Mire at this point. Sorry, I'm about to break like NDAs all over the place right here with what I want to talk about with the Mire. Yeah, basically there's a teaser of what Mire will be, but I want to pass the mic to Chris now
That's
and
good.
talk a little bit in
Can't wait
detail
for that.
about level design.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brian. This is a really special honor for me to be here at this time and doing this, because the last time I attended PAX was back in, I believe it was 2012, 2013, somewhere around
Phew.
there. And I was sitting out in the audience at that time. I came from the community as a mapper. I got involved in some of the mapping contests. I got my roots back with KF1, made probably a dozen maps for KF1, as many or more with KF2. And what we've got here, this picture is me doing a Foster with Alan Wilson, one of the...
Is that who that old man
Well, it was Alan.
Yeah, he's always the popular character.
If you're
with
fans
us.
of Tripwire, many of you will know Alan. We are not letting him retire. We are just slowly pulling him into decks in any way possible to kind of always be a part of the team. So
Just
thank
clone
you,
him.
Alan. I showed this him like the day before he showed up. He was like, "What?"
Yeah, so it's been quite the journey. I'm just about 10 years in with Tripwire at this point, and it's been fantastic going all the way up through KF3. Getting into some of the level design. So what we've got here is a block-out image of the map Sewers. This is the map that we've been showcasing here with these slides today. And what we've got here is a bird's eye view in what we would call gray box or white box. Early development of the maps, it's going to have very little detail, very little lighting, and it's just enough to convey what the general shapes and area are. All the gameplay is developed in this space and tested and iterated on until the
I'm
team
surprised
felt
how early
satisfied
they are
that we had
releasing
good
it, to be
gameplay,
honest.
and from that
Yeah.
point forward, it would then
It's a bit of a
pass
shock
on
to
other
me as well,
departments to
but
start giving it
I mean, it's been
all
4
of the,
months at that point,
poop
coming up for
water
July,
and,
so
Making
think
that
the delay
picture
is
pretty
worth it.
disgusting, awful-looking poop water.
When we prototype in those early stages, we were working at home like during COVID, and my daughters just thought I was playing like Roblox for like 7 hours a day. And then when they saw it look like this, they're like, "What happened to the game, Dad?"
Yeah, so speaking of
I
which,
expected
here's
it to
our
be at
segue
least
into,
October.
this is a
Yeah, I did too.
much more recent shot of the sewers. This is what it would
Yeah,
look
hopefully
like.
it's
This
worth
is an
it.
in-game
Is this
shot
new?
taken from it. And just to give you guys an idea of kind of what exists behind the scenes, here's some screenshots of the actors that are hidden that we work with in the Unreal 5 engine. So we have a bunch of different views here.
This must be
There's a
all
lot of
lighting and
actors.
stuff. That's cool.
Some of what we've got is collision volumes that prevent the players from getting out of bounds. They also keep the Zeds contained, if that can be done. And then we've also got the green nav mesh with a system called Havoc, and that controls where the Zeds can and cannot go, as well as the crawler navigation on walls.
Yeah, Chris and his team really have to think about a lot of super complex systems to make a play space. It's not literally just like playing with
Just hoping it
Legos
doesn't
and
take too long
building
for them
an
to
area and be
remove
like, "All right,
specialist
go."
system post-launch. Yeah,
This work and with
that's
the
my
team of
only
our,
issue.
with
I
the
just
help of our
hope
AI
they
team is
fix
why
that.
crawlers can finally crawl on
If they
walls.
are,
I
that
know that's
is.
something
They
that
should
you
be.
guys have wanted for a
What they
really
said
long
with the
time. It was
delay.
one of the first endeavors for having Zeds navigate, and then it led into other elements like having the Husk have the ability to fly now. We'll talk a little bit more about Zed navigation in a moment, but you can thank this guy when you have crawlers crawling over your head, and our AI team for, we call it the cone of danger. In KF1 and 2, the cone of danger, like a lot of Zeds are along the same kind of head height, so you can kind of strafe side to side and shoot Zeds. Well, you're going to really have to keep your head on a swivel now because
Never
Zeds
been
can
a fan
attack
of the
you from
specialists,
almost every
yeah.
angle. The
Yeah,
cone
they
of
just weren't
danger
very
is
popular. I don't
large.
think they fit with Killing Floor
I
at
don't think I
all.
should thank
Just
Chris for
wasn't that kind of thing.
Direct it to
I
somebody
got
else.
some more screenshots
Okay,
here.
what we've got here is an example of how we've evolved some of our gameplay. One of the things with level design is what can we do to push the player? What can we do to change the environment? How can we, especially with Killing Floor, there's
Looks
kind
like
of the nature of
Waterworks.
repetition of you play the same map and you go through it and you continue going wave through wave. And we really wanted to see, while that is a good formula, how we could update that and upgrade that and add some dynamic elements. So what we've got here is destructible walls.
Some things start really simple too, like if you guys are making your own games or whatnot, like doors, just a simple door can provide.
Hoping
hundreds
some of the
questions
weapons
and
got
challenges.
remodeled. Wasn't a
When
fan
player
of some of the
opens the door, who
designs.
else can go through
Yeah,
the door? Can I
I
open
hope
this
so
door?
as
Can you
well.
lock that door?
They might show off
One of
weapons.
the
I don't
challenges
know.
that we always had in
Some of the
previous
specialist
games is
gadgets, they could make
Zed
it something you
height
could buy in a
determined
trader,
by
or if it
spaces
be
in
for
particular
run round type of
doorways.
thing.
So we just got to a
Yeah,
point really early
think
on because I really
It's still
wanted
tied to
flesh out
perks, those
to
gadgets,
the
but not to
tallest
characters, which is
classic
good.
returning Zed. And then the Impaler was something that I'd been thinking about for a long time, where it's like Horzine's newest thing. It's basically like if you were to buy a weapon from Horzine and you wanted to take on like a tank, how would you do that with a Zed, and that's what the Impaler was. So the creative inspiration and reference for that was a silverback gorilla meets an M1 Abram and then just shoving a giant knife in its face, right? And so then we're like, dude, how does that thing get through a door? And we were just like, screw it, just destroy not only the door, but the door frame as well. And then that led to Chris and them knocking out certain things. Jared, you like this space because of...
So it really, especially in sewers, it's one of the first maps where we're starting to explore adding new play spaces because the Zeds have opened up a way for you. So there are parts to sewers that you can't access until the Zeds Kool-Aid Man moment which is
That's cool.
Yeah. Feel free to use it. And all of a
Secret
sudden,
areas.
Not only is there surprise, you
Bit
look
like
behind where it came from, you're like, oh, that's a new place.
Monster
I can go
Ball with
there.
that
There's
secret
something
door.
for me to experience there. And in fact, one of my favorite holdout spots is in this map behind one of those walls.
What we've got here is giving an example of a holding space for the players. Now we've got a bunch of different classes that deal with either short range, medium range, long range.
Not sure how they'll have the
And we wanna
gadget for
give
the
all
engineer
players
on
an
the other
opportunity to
characters
be
just because of how
effective in
big the gadget
battlefield.
is.
Highlighted
Well,
in
it
the
might
kind
be
of like
adjusted
red
for each
around the
character.
perimeter of this image, we have different access points for Zeds. We've got the one with the crosshairs, or the crosshatches rather, where that's a breakable wall. Large Zeds are going to be able to bust in through that, which will change the play space drastically. We've got a trader pod in the middle, and then what we've got highlighted in yellow there is one of our multi-tool traps. So a personal favorite of mine, just a giant fan, and you turn it on and it makes chopped Zeds very quickly. So we've got kind of a control of choke points happening here.
Now, throughout this whole entire process,
Another thing I
where
want is more
playtesting,
banter between
we're
teammates.
iterating.
Yeah, for
If you guys are
sure.
wondering, I
That'd
spent
be
a lot
good.
of money to go to art school, and I think we can all agree it paid off. That might be the best image ever. But in all seriousness, I think Trent has like a file, or a folder just full of like hundreds of these, where they are just simple snipping tools that I grab while we're playtesting. And collaboration is a massive part not only of Killing Floor 3, but Tripwire, how we develop games as a team. So it's like, we'll have good ideas, we'll have bad ideas, and as a team, we got to be able to talk about it. So this was like a really early idea of, this space is really reminding me of Alien, so maybe we can have elements where there's like these researchers that crawlers have kind of cocooned in this area and stuff like that. And then the kind of green squiggle, I'll talk about Easter eggs in a minute, but if there's any Maneater fans out there, that's kind of an elusive idea of like something that we could possibly do. So
Yeah, that'll be
Chris
good.
and, in all honesty, the entire team is very generous with allowing me to provide them with these sometimes very confusing drawings. And then we move on to environment art. We get to a point where we're playtesting the space, we're blocking out the space, and that we need to start adding that art, that poop water, as we will say. Dude, Sandy, HR back home, is like, you got to stop saying this. This is a public place. But yeah, our team has been looking at some really awesome stuff, making some very gross stuff as well. Misty, our lead environment artist, and AK, our art director.
It looks proper
they've just
gloomy.
done a fantastic job
Like
of
dark, which is cool.
capturing Hakab's images, and kind of like when you're in this space, you can kind of feel the moisture and the dampness. I literally just got a message like before this meeting started as well, where Ed, our audio engineer, there is a chance that if you're exploring this space that you can hear someone mumbling and then like screaming and asking for help underneath that pile of bodies in the middle. So thank you, Ed. That was a very fun, twisted moment.
That's
I was
cool.
going to say,
Wow.
speaking of people I don't want to thank again, like that other video you showed me, but we may share with the community later, may make you not want to have mustard for a while.
Yeah, there was a lot of mustard used to make monster sounds, so you're not going to want mustard again.
Oh, that's going to sound very squishy then.
Environmental storytelling. So lore is definitely a part that is growing in Killing Floor 3. I don't know about you guys, but like I want to know more about the worlds that I experience, whether it's a comic that I'm reading or a movie that I'm watching. But the big thing is Killing Floor combat comes first, right? That gameplay of me and my friends back to back fighting Zeds.
That must be the Maya, that
But as
purple
we play those
thing.
maps over and over and
on
over
the
again,
wall.
we want to layer elements in there that are either a cool, funny Easter egg that you might enjoy, like the audio of someone asking for help or crying or screaming underneath this pile of bodies, but then also alluding to a bigger picture. So this is where you can start to see more of that mire infestation in this area. What's going to happen? I don't know. We got to figure it out together, right? And then some of those Easter eggs. So that little doodle of what I was trying to draw as an alligator ends
Is
up
that the
becoming,
Among
any
Us?
Maneater fans out there, as one of our last ship titles that we really enjoyed. We hid Rosie, who was one of the apex predators or bosses inside Maneater.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we're confirming that those two worlds exist with each other now. That
Oh, yeah, you got
somehow
holes in your
Rosie
Maneater,
ended up in
so.
the Japanese sewer system. Not only are some Easter eggs visible, but there's also Easter eggs that you can hear as well. So Rocky Gray and Mark Muraski are audio and composers. They've done a fantastic job of layering the world with awesome new music, some returning KF2 music as well. But there's also this element where you can take the music slider and just turn it down, and like when you're between waves, instead of skipping that wave, go explore, go work on your assignments, and the audio that you'll hear, it definitely adds to that kind of horror survival element.
Oh,
and
that's
Ed
good.
has
Bit of
hid
Killing
quite a
Floor
few
1
audio,
ambience.
little Easter eggs that you guys might remember from some of the past Killing Floor games.
Another thing I want is more banter between the teammates. Yeah,
So to kind of encompass
Definitely.
building a map, you kind of see where it started, and then you see where it ends up.
that
And
looks
it's really cool
nice.
because you can see as we play test things that worked, things that didn't work.
Just look very
Like I think you're
gritty,
gonna see here in a
unlike,
second,
you know, the
there's,
ones
like,
in the
middle of one of
beta.
the holdout rooms. Yeah, like right there. We put a turret and there was like a table that you could jump on. But it ended up really like bogging the player down. So it's like, let's just blow this space out and give more room for players to kind of navigate. You see that trap that went from a steam one to now it's got a series of pipes that kind of carry some of that gross, disgusting, toxic water that when you use a multi-tool, it will overload that machine, it'll heat up and explode, and then that slime will basically melt. I think I literally got a video yesterday just showing updated slime from Santiago of just like, there's like more slime, more! And now there's just like gallons of it pouring out, so thank you for that.
It literally does look like Killing Floor 1. Jesus.
But yeah, it's always a really
Well, that
satisfying
hallway,
experience
the
as a
lighting
developer, as a
just
creator to
screams
have a
Killing
really
Floor
loose
1.
idea and then work with a group of people to make this a reality where you guys get to fight Zeds in these spaces. I will warn you that you will die a lot in this map. It is very claustrophobic.
Oh,
I highly
that's great.
suggest using your flashlight. It is by far my favorite map. It's the most recent map that we've done as well. So I can talk about it all day, but let's talk about one of the most important parts, and that's playtesting. You can see here our capture artist Tiago is playtesting, seeing
Look
how
how
all of these
gritty it
things that we
looks.
talked about come together for what is your guys' experience as players. You guys are not only witnessing sewers being play tested, but you're seeing new Zed behaviors. You're seeing new animations.
Oh, this is
not
the Killing
only
Floor
the
2
weapons,
animations,
but the
yeah.
Zeds as well. I would like to thank our community for nicknaming the Scrake Dr. Hook. That hook pulling is
Yeah.
devastating, but I will show you in a minute a cool way that you can utilize it to work in your favor as well. Also, please always just punch crawlers in the face.
They're annoying.
Bill Monk,
Cool.
one of the original founders of
The atmosphere on
Killing
that,
Floor, you can see
so
he's
cool.
added back in where like Zed will be reaching for their missing heads.
Yeah, now
At
this is
moment
more
right
like
here,
it,
you're
yeah.
gonna see Basically, a Scrake and a Fleshbound pressuring Tiago, some other trash that get in the way, and that's when the Scrake hit that cyst with it and just exploded. So if you kind of like have that balance there. Sorry, I'm not really sure what's going on with the feed. We'll get that taken care of there. Trent, you mind checking that out?
Already looks more like Killing Floor. Oh yeah, indeed.
Or is
Yeah, the
Fleshbound
animations
really
look
just giving
better.
us that part? Okay. I don't think we're supposed to show that.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be here.
Oh, a new map.
If it says do not show at PAX East, sorry. We'll try to get this figured out, but...
Yeah,
What
like
are
a jungle
NDAs
map.
and how do those work?
There's some new music. Oh, Brian, you're spoiling
You
us.
guys are the first people to see this, by the way, so sorry, maybe? We'll get that fixed. Let's do this. while you fix the feed, why don't we just show you live gameplay, and we'll try
Hell
to
yeah.
see if Jared can survive a gameplay in sewers. Does that sound good?
Let's see if I can do it better than Tiago. And since
All right,
you
we're
said
gonna
use your
switch over
flashlight,
to
let's
other-
do a no flashlight run.
Yeah, you can see it's proper gritty now.
There you go.
Like, yeah, closed beta maps basically were pretty clean, but these maps are full on gritty.
By the way, it's no pressure playing the game in front of a room full of people. That's like, not single headshots, please.
Yep.
You got this, Jared.
One of the things I love
Look at the
about
lighting as
talking about
well, the
play spaces,
guts on the floor.
and knowing your play spaces.
I've actually got the Killing Floor 2
So
music
one
in
of the
there.
things I like to do is make sure I have additional places to loop around, such as to this particular room. I get rid of this door pass on my trail.
Flashlight is a must, yeah. This map looks like it needs it.
Gorefast have kind of changed pretty dramatically, where almost think of them as like velociraptors, where they kind of hunt in packs, and if you stray away from the team, you all of a sudden be like, why are there like an excessive number of Gorefast hunting me? They will basically look and hunt for the outlier. So when you're playing with your friends, definitely try to stick with each other.
That's good. Encourages teamwork. Oh, there's Z time. Look
So
at that.
this is something that's pretty new. Like if you guys saw the beta, we tried some stuff with Z time and it wasn't working, right? So we heard you guys' feedback, and we were basically kind of returning, but then amplifying.
Did you hear
one of the
that
things about
Killing
Z
Floor
time that we've
1
always enjoyed?
sound as well when they activated
Those
Z
high frame
time?
rate weapon animations, really slowing the combat down and letting that gore stand forward.
Look at how good it
It's been really
looks.
nice because we have a update to our meat system, massive evisceration and trauma. Meat 2.0, you can actually see heads like flower open. You can burn Zeds where you literally see them and their skin charring. You can punch holes in different
Oh.
parts of their body.
Turret
so
attack,
the
first
kind
time
of
I've seen that.
reimagining of Zed time is really allowing that gore to stand out. There's also been a massive update. Jeremy, our lead technical artist, has really pushed Persistent Blood since the last time you guys have seen it. That poor guy has watched some rough videos. So a moment of silence for Jeremy.
Is Z time random is Killing Floor 2? It might not be. I imagine
Are you playing
the...
on hard or normal?
So this
Okay.
bar here, from what I remember, actually is your Z time counter. When it gets full, it obviously
Even in this
goes.
hallway, you're gonna
and
notice
activates
like
Z
these
time.
red pipes.
So I imagine
you can
that's...
shoot those and
Oh,
they'll
it's
burn. So like
pipes.
they're positioned if crawlers.
But yeah, I
are
don't
on the
think it
ceiling,
is
shoot those
random, it's
pipes,
with
you'll
the
burn things
bar
crawling
thing.
at you.
Yeah, I don't know why they added that. It's not personally a fan of it, but it is what it is.
Or just use the butt of their gun to knock the few teeth they have down their throat.
New
The
music.
other thing that you'll notice in the world are there'll be like little red glowing elements. These are all Horzine destructible elements, so to kind of really like stick it to Horzine and kind of earn some crafting material for yourself, make sure and
See
take
the
the time and kind
outside.
of hunt through the
Looks
space to find
nice.
those. Were you guys hiding those, or were Misty hiding them?
It's a group effort.
Everyone's just slowly
Department's
hiding
gonna
them.
have fun with it.
And it's for 4 minutes random, yeah.
Hide them from each
I
other.
do agree.
Hold on, let's just for Chris. See if we can get some,
Thank you.
Zeds into this trap.
You
Alright,
killed
let's
them
see
all.
some gore.
Not all of them.
Oh, now there's
Oh,
a siren.
the old siren flank. When it comes to Zeds, critical zones are a pretty big thing within Killing Floor 3. If you see something glowing on an enemy, that's our way as developers to communicate to you, like, shoot here. And these critical zones will actually even communicate different elements. Like, if a Flesh Pound is a little more yellow, he's a little bit more passive, still out to kill you, but when he turns red, he's enraged. I believe the Scrake has the ability to enrage other enemies around him and kind of
The
like
Matriarch's
target pick a
theme.
character as well. The Bloat, who will literally like inflate this kind of like back sack. Yes, that's a word that I just used publicly. There'll be these glowing pustules on it that if you shoot those, it really helps take him down faster. So if you're low on ammo, you don't have a ton of resources, make sure to prioritize those critical zones to kind of like take Zeds down the fastest way possible.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's nearly dead.
That clock ruined my.
There was
my
no
recall
healing
on that
animation.
strike.
I don't think.
Dr. Hook.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Stumble finally.
So one of the things about executions in
Still
Killing
got
Floor 3,
executions.
yeah, it's one thing to smash his face into his own chainsaw. Try to utilize that when other Zeds are around, because when you basically can execute the Flesh Pound and the Scrake, when you execute those big Zeds, you're basically sending their kind of like system inside of them
Uh-oh.
into overdrive, and when
Zed's
they
stuck.
explode, they will kill other Zeds as well. I also believe you get a little extra dosh for execution.
Hopefully that gets fixed.
So if you're short on cash and need to take out a horde, just start executing big Zeds. It's that whole risk versus reward plan that we have. Is that Doc Brown? I love how Doc Brown came from the future for Killing Floor 3. I love it.
Very noisy in here.
That's amazing.
I feel
Well,
like
thank you
there's a
for being
lesson here to learn.
All right, so one thing looking at the trader, looking at weapons going down the left, that is kind of the standard version of that weapon. And then to the right of them, those are pre-modded versions of those weapons.
Looks
Mods are
like
a
the trader's
massive
not
part
been
of Killing
changed
Floor
much
3.
then.
It's our way of having you have
Apart from
control
maybe
on
colour
how you
scheme.
like to play with guns. Like, I ADS a lot. I'm a sharpshooter. I like to ADS. I don't want to put out a ton of heavy firepower. I want to do, well, excuse me, I want to put out basically very large rounds downrange as far as possible to take out those larger Zeds. The cool thing about these mods are, once again, if you ADS a lot, we've got mods for that. If you like to shoot from the hip, like what's your style? What's your go-to?
Probably similar to yours.
Okay.
Sharpshooter.
I will say, there is a bow and arrow, and there is a mod that has explosive tip. Yes, we watched Rambo 3 like multiple times and dissected that guy exploding from an explosive arrow.
We need to get rid of healing sticks and resurrects. I mean, I think the resurrects thing is alright. You know, when you heal teammates, bring them back when they're down. But the healing sticks, yeah.
There it is.
I think you can get rid of those, just use the
So,
regular
yeah, this
syringe.
is that area that Jared was talking about earlier, and I would definitely say like Corey and Chris and that team this is the most recent map. Like when I tell you guys, like, you're literally the first people to see this. This is incredibly hot off the presses, right? We wanted to come to PAX with something rad and cool to show you guys, and I think that yeah, like you and Corey and the rest of your team and everyone at Tripwire, you can definitely tell the things that we learned on building those maps early on, what this map could look like. So it really makes me excited for the future of KF3.
Definitely.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That
he's
flesh
dead.
down is not
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh no, I'm being executed. All with 9 left. Alright, I'm sure you guys are all
So
gonna
close.
critique me. So before you do, come join me at the Alienware booth and do better than me. That's
Yeah.
my challenge to you.
We've got this crazy machine. It's like Killing Floor 3 on 3 monitors.
3 4K monitors side by side.
It's scary as shit. Like my neck kept breaking as the whole time you're playing. You're like, ah. All right, so I just want to take a moment and thank everyone for coming out and spending their Saturday with us, especially on a Mother's Day weekend. Please say thank you to your mother. Maybe you can play KF with her if that's what you're into.
Buy her a copy.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happening right here. It's still kind of glitching out, but
I thought we fixed this.
oh, I don't know what that is, but you know what? Let's just forget the NDA part. My boss, the CEO of Tripwire, is in the audience. Maybe he can just, we can hype him up to let us show more stuff. What do you guys think, Matt?
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Look at the thumb.
Oh, there we go.
got the thumbs up.
Thumbs
All
up.
right, all right. I want to preface this. This is
The
everything
future
that
Killing
we're
Floor
kind of
3.
exploring, or not even everything. These are some early ideas of what the future of Killing Floor 3 will look like. Those of you that might be new to the franchise, Killing Floor 1 and Killing Floor 2 have a very long history of post-launch content, right? We've been playing KF for like, what, a decade now? And we very much want to continue to
Hello,
support
Mecco.
KF3 in very similar manners. So
Siri.
let's just take a brief look at what the future for KF3 could look like. Earlier, when the
Nice.
machine was kind of glitching out and Horzine took over there, or maybe a few gremlins got in the mix, you saw a very early playtest video of a future map coming that is
Oh,
this
it's like a jungle-
prison. It's this abandoned
Yeah, jungle prison.
kind of in a rainforest that Horzine is using to kind of
That looks cool.
politely get information from enemies of the state. Some of them may have taken an acid bath there. One thing that's really important when creating
Definitely looks like
something
Killing Floor 1
is, can
in
I
a lot of
smell it?
ways.
Like, I usually know that I ask myself that. It's a good
Well, of course,
thing,
it's just
and this goes
concept
for
art, so
everything
it could
from enemies,
change.
like the Impaler, when I could smell his breath, I was like, just that, I feel that we're heading in the right spot. And when we started painting people in acid baths, I was like, I can smell that room, or imagine what it would
The
smell
dude just
like.
chilling there, yeah.
Not
He's just
great.
having a casual bath.
Aggressive. So yeah, that's a fun thing for you guys now to think about. But then also exploring completely
Outpost.
different parts of the globe,
From
right?
Killing
As
Floor
we said,
2.
KF3, we wanted this idea of this dystopian future and how Horzine is growing in power. Where is Nightfall and the team going to be fighting Zeds? Once again, giant, nerdy, 40-something-year-old dad. I grew up watching John Carpenter's movies, like, religiously, and this is our love letter to the thing. And
Look,
Outpost
the
31.
sky looks cool.
You have some fun little
Oh,
facts
wow.
about this one.
Yeah, a couple neat things with this is one, we've got our
Why does that
senior
remind me of
technical level designer, Michael
Bedlam a
Kissinger,
little
has
bit
worked a
from
lot on the
KF1?
dynamic weather system for this map to go in and out of having blizzards, so your visibility can be greatly reduced, kind of push you into some of the facilities, and then open up again partway through waves. And then this map has been spearheaded by Jeremy Raymond, our senior level designer, and he was a big fan of the Outpost map in Killing Floor 2. So you'll see some
Oh, yeah.
inspiration
That's
from
probably
it.
where I
I
got it
just want
from.
to throw out, for those who don't know, Michael Kissinger, you might know as Fell, for those of you who have been in the KF community forever, and Chris Goodwin down there, Swift Brutal Death. That's how you might also know him in his fantastic work.
Oh my God, it's him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, real world guns. I felt really aggressive just showing a gun to a room full of people and being like, there it is, right?
Got an
Basically,
SPX
the
or
goal is to
Winchester
give
from
you
Killing Floor
guys
2.
as many tools as possible to kill shit with, right? We are making the game pretty damn difficult, and you're going to need every tool possible, from new
Finally,
guns,
actual
various
grounded
gadgets,
weapons.
tools, grenades,
Man, I do
throwables.
love my
All of
Winchesters.
these are
That looks
tools
good.
for you to fight Horzine back.
And don't forget the weapon mods that come with those new guns. That completely change
double
how many of them
barrel?
work, including the existing ones.
We didn't
That's
rehearse this
double
part at all,
barrel.
so I'm gonna get a bunch of eyeballs. But the mod for this gun is actually a quad barrel as well, so
Oh
that's
my
pretty
God.
intense. I also saw an animation just beforehand. One thing new, like, you'll remember this gun from KF2, but how do we make it even better for KF3? I saw an animation Friday from our lead animator Daniel that has a half load and full reload animation subtlety. So it's like on a half reload, if you only shoot one of those barrels, you'll actually use your thumb to cover the unspent barrel when you
Oh,
flip it
yeah.
out. So like
Yeah,
that
that's
little
cool.
level of detail and love that they're putting into it is something that we're really excited to
Hopefully,
share with you
animations
guys in the
are
near
actually
future.
quite good. Oh.
I also just love
M14.
this gun, so I was like, we gotta get this gun back in here.
Returning classics, old favorites. and
Out of them
people new ones,
14.
too.
I love the
Yeah, so some of these
M14.
last ones
Oh
you
my
see
god.
here are guns that have never been in the Killing
Some
Floor
kind of
franchise,
AK
but they
assault
very
rifle?
much fit with the DNA of what KF is. So
In love
Rob
an
Dion, who
M14.
I believe just had
Gee.
his like 18th anniversary, has been making
Some kind
guns
of
forever for Killing Floor, and the effort that he and his team are putting into these guns, it's wild. Like, every
You know
little
it's going to be a
nut,
big
bolt,
Z
and
killer.
interchangeable
Oh
piece.
yes.
So, we can't wait for you guys to get your hands on these and kill monsters with them. And then obviously,
Scully.
if there's any
You knew he
DJ
was coming
Scully fans
back.
out there, okay, that guy's ready for it. Awesome. Here's the thing: is
It looks a
bringing
lot
back
better
fan favorites. Like, if
than
you guys
newer
read,
characters.
Mason and Matt, some of the team, they wrote up a little bit of a deep dive into Mr. Foster recently. If you check out our blog, you learn a little bit about Jason Fleming, this awesome actor who did the VO for him. You read a little bit about his lore, how he's a clone of the original Mr. Foster. The only thing lore-wise I will confirm is this is the original DJ Scully. How
Oh,
did that
shit.
happen? I don't have to explain it right now, but we're in this near future. We've
Oh,
literally got
definitely wanna
Doc
know.
Brown's son here, so believe me, anything is possible at this point, right? But it's not only bringing back fan favorites, but then introducing you to all new characters as well. So we've had a lot of fun exploring what new members of Nightfall will look like, and we can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah, he
use
definitely
them,
looks
those
better than
new
the other
guns, in
characters,
those
I'll
new
say
maps
that
and
much.
fight Zeds in the near future.
Well, I like how his design is still
We're going to move on
kept,
to a
you know,
Q&A quick. I
up
think
to
we've got a
date from
mic
all
set
those
up
years.
here.
Got some
Money.
questions.
We have Mike as the Mike enforcer.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, feel free to line up and we can answer some questions for you. We will kind of keep some questions to a certain time period.
Bring
'Cause
back
we
the
also then
Scottish
have a
priest.
giveaway
Ah,
and
yeah.
raffle that we
Forgot
have.
about him, actually.
And then-
Might
Got
be
those
back.
raffle tickets when you came in.
Yeah, and then we also have like an area outside over here. So if you guys want to get like a poster signed or you have additional questions or anything like that, we'll be hanging around a little bit afterwards to talk to you as well.
I got posters.
Come visit me at
Damn.
the Alien booth and play Killing Floor 3 in triple 4K.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Got a question for you. So we're talking about the development of maps. What was your favorite enemy, either a new design or a one that you're rehashing for Killing Floor 3? Which one was your favorite to work on, just development-wise?
I will, like, why don't you start? You tell me yours.
The Husk.
The Husk.
I think the Husk was probably my favorite in Killing Floor 2, and then what we've done with it in Killing Floor 3 in terms of giving it the abilities to leap up onto buildings and leap from building to building. It just adds a whole other layer of where the player needs to look and engage in combat.
When's
It
the
gives
new
sharpshooter
release date?
something
They've
to,
already announced
really
it.
account for and
They
take
announced
out
it
that'll hold
yesterday,
lot.
so it's
So it's the Husk
July
that stands out for me.
I'm gonna say
24th.
Scrake. Grew up a
Which is
big
about
Friday
another
13th
2
fan.
months.
We really
Actually
wanted that
quite
element in
cool.
there. If you guys haven't seen, we did this awesome kind of like marketing beat with this guy called Sculpture Geek, where he did like a real world sculpture.
Oh
of
yeah, I remember the
Scrake.
Sculpture
And
Geek.
just seeing that
Oh,
come
that
to
was
life when
cool.
it was like an idea in your head, and then seeing how many players that the Scrake has killed. It sounds a little weird, but it's really enjoyable.
Chris is correct. It's the Husk.
Thanks, Jared.
He's got a Killing Floor 3
I'm gonna
shirt.
go with,
Damn, I need to get
the
one.
Newly redesigned Cyst. Just seeing the first concept art for that was pretty gnarly. And then we spent a lot of time on that first Zed reveal video. That was one of the first creatures, I think,
Yeah,
after our Flesh Pound teaser trailer that everybody got to see. So
it was aggressive.
yeah,
Oh, mine might have to be the Cyst or the Scrake, personally.
Yeah, thank you.
The Cyst one was cool.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. I was wondering if there's any plans for any more like progressional maps like Zed's Landing, where, you know, the kind of map evolves as it continues to go on in the waves.
Oh, that's a good point.
I can't say that we have specific plans at this time, but I've definitely enjoyed some of the more kind of dynamic and evolving maps from KF2, and any opportunity that we have to, you know,
Dead
expand on and
Landing.
do some cool cinematics. stuff
Hopefully
like
they do
that,
bring it back
absolutely.
in some way.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, epic advancement on the gameplay. Looks like it's going to be even better than the past games.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of the Killing Floor, and I also play Killing Floor Incursion on PS1 on VR, and with the VR2 and
Yep,
advancements and everything,
Incursion's pretty fun.
Post-launch, maybe bringing older games or this one to VR.
Not at this time, just due to kind of some of the technical limitations of this, but yeah, Killing Floor Incursion was definitely a really enjoyable experience, and it's interesting to see how many people are always looking for more Killing Floor in VR. So, can't
Yeah,
put numbers
hopefully it's a
behind it,
lot
but
better.
KF3 were definitely focused, you know, on
Because
console
Killing Floor
and PC
Incursion
at
did
this
have some jank with controls and
Yeah,
stuff,
thanks,
so.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello. Basic question for you guys. What was your favorite map to design in Killing Floor 2, and what is your favorite map to have designed now for Killing Floor 3?
This is you all over
I'm
this.
so glad they
Monster
delayed
Ball
the game.
for
Yeah,
Killing Floor
it's
2,
definitely a
and
lot
it
more
was,
worth it.
A little bit of the
Nice.
reasoning for that is it was just such a
This probably would have
great,
been post-launch
culmination
content, to
of
be
a lot
fair,
of
but
people's
it's
efforts,
definitely worth
and
the wait.
multiple level designers worked on it. We had a lot of really great concept art that was developed for it when it was in gray box. Michael Kissinger was prototyping out some of the traps for us. That, along with the themed Zeds of all the classic horror themed Zeds that all came in line with that, was just the stars aligned for that one, for how I feel about the team putting together a great product. And for this one, Factory, I think, is my favorite for KF3.
What's your in-game name? Do you mean my username?
I just
I play.
kinda wanna
I play
segue
on
from there and say
Steam,
my
so
favorite,
it's
like,
under the
KF2
name
map story,
Raging
not to
Alcoholic
shame anybody,
05.
Just kind of go into how much detail some of our artists put into things. One of the first maps to really come together was Burning Paris, and that fantastic, beautiful vista, great gameplay loop. It was really
Oh
fun
yeah,
to
Burning
play,
Paris was
but it
good
was
fun.
also one of our first, hey guys, there seems to be a performance issue in this map. What is it? And then somebody noticed, whenever you look down this street, that's when this issue happens. And then we kind of narrowed it down. It's the ambulance that has the world's most detailed ambulance interior. But the doors are closed and you can't see it.
We just assumed you'd all end up in the back of it after fighting Zed, so maybe that was the thought process. But I would actually say that Burning Paris visually was one of my favorite maps, but then Monster Ball gameplay-wise was one of my favorite ones. And it
Oh
was
yeah,
a
Monster
huge
Ball with the
spark point
dance hall.
for
That was
KF3
cool.
with the interactable elements.
Oh,
And
you use
then
Epic.
for KF3,
Yeah.
I am
I
very
mean,
partial to
Killing
Sword
Floor
right
3
now,
will have
but
crossplay,
there's
so
another map called
you can do it
Convoy,
through there. You can still
that
play
is
Killing Floor
very
3
much a love
together
letter to,
despite the
Mountain Pass,
console.
if you guys are familiar with that map.
Hoping for
That
crossplay.
is
It has
just
been confirmed
visually a
already.
it has this like
That
weird
Killing Floor
balance
3
of
will be
being
crossplay.
like visually beautiful but scary as well. It's kind of like the sun is setting in it, and you can kind of get the like sun peeking over the trees, but then you're getting chased by these monsters, and it's like, this is a good place to die.
Good morning. So
Morning.
I played the closed beta recently for 3, and I really had fun and enjoyed it.
Cool,
So
thank
this
you.
is kind of a two-parter. Will we be seeing
Neat,
in
we
the
shall meet.
beta, there was the home base
Yeah,
with the helipad.
sure.
Are we going to be seeing like a lot more of that, more Easter eggs, or more things like within the base? And the second part to that is, what was some of the best feedback you received from the beta that you will take on into the game?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say the Stronghold is definitely a big part of the space, right? It's almost similar to this room, right? Like it's a social space. It's where you and your friends
Needs
can
more
come together,
work
kind of discuss your
going to it.
plans. What are you playing today? Who's playing what? Who's going to focus on these Zeds? And that space has been built for expansion. So in the future, there will be more things to do.
Oh, that's cool.
I want to tell you so much right now. Like even the way we introduce like DJ Scully, there's elements of that that are kind of in the space. I think right before you guys came in, I was telling these guys about Easter eggs within Stronghold. I'll actually even this is what I will confirm. There are things that we have hidden in the world, and especially in the Stronghold, but in other maps that allude to what the future can be, right? Some of them are literally right underneath your nose. You have the ability to put text and sounds throughout this game, and they don't need to just be like lorem ipsum, right? Just like numbers on a paper. It could be as simple as a reference to some weird 80s horror movie that I really liked as a kid. But it could also be something as detailed as where could that next map be, or who could a future team member of Nightfall be, right? So that's kind of where Stronghold plays an element in it. It's also a
Some
big
maps
core loop with,
introduce
like, crafting
characters.
weapon mods and crafting skills and elements like that. But also,
Interesting.
if you just don't want to run through the Stronghold as much, all of those menus, you can simply navigate through your menus, right? As far as feedback goes, for me, one of the biggest things was gunplay, right? Obviously, performance was a big thing, but for me, like, we talk about killing floors, you and your friends back-to-back fighting Zeds, and getting that feedback on gunplay and what are the things that you guys want to see and where we can push ourselves. Our team really took that to heart and really pushed themselves, and they've made some really significant things. I think there's a few of you guys out there that actually got to play yesterday, and like seeing you guys use the Bone Breaker shotgun and get this like little grin on your face when shooting a Zed's head off.
I actually use a shotgun.
If you didn't get a chance, though, please stop by the booth and play with Jared today.
Thank you. Looking forward to the game.
Thank you.
And I will say, like, from a community manager perspective, all the feedback was the best feedback, especially when you told me why. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't like this. Neat. Why?
Yeah.
Give me some details.
Hi, hello. This is a question for like, are we gonna see any like unique weaponry? Like for example, in Killing Floor 2, the one of the medic weapons, like the healing RPG. So are we gonna see any more unique, silly weapons for Killing Floor 3?
So right now we're definitely focused on, I wouldn't say a more serious tone, but like weapons that are really all about ripping through Zeds. But I will say
Yeah,
one of
more
the things, like if you're in
grounded.
the medic, one of the things that has changed since the beta is the ability to heal. Like everything has the ability to heal. Like you're gonna see a video in the very near future highlighting some of the weapons, and there's a gun, the tier 1 medic that's very heavily inspired by like a MAC 10, MAC 11. Like what would one of those look like 30, 40 years from now. But it has this pre-built mod underneath it in the front that allows you to alt fire and like heal your teammates and stuff like that.
Shooting darts.
But it's not to say as far as like more lighthearted weapons that couldn't come in the future as well. But definitely right now we're trying to find as many ways as possible to shred, rip, shoot, and destroy Zeds and showcase that Meat 2.0 as much as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. First of all, great show so far.
Thanks
Thanks for coming out. I'm really curious
Medic
about the
SMG
identity
basically
going
from
forward, how
KF2.
you kind of view
Really
that,
much.
because it's a big mix of, you know, like you said, 80s
I know a
horror,
lot of
Cronenbergs and stuff,
medic weapons
and
had
then your
like
high-octane
the
action, but you also
syringe
have those
on it.
creepy
It's
little
cool.
Easter eggs, like that voice. When you go into designing and making different features and content, how do you balance that horror element and how much you want to scare and unnerve the player, than how much you want to give them that like power fantasy, kind of ripping and tearing everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, the balance is usually pushing players where we're stressing them. Like it's not like other games where it's like you against the world and you're totally equipped to take on everything. You want to talk about some of those references? Like one of the games that, or one of the movies that we used very early on was actually Aliens and Predator. Now, those are the most overused references in any pop culture ever. So what does that mean for Killing Floor, and what does that mean for our identity? It's basically, in those movies, you had groups of these badasses with all of these tools at their disposal, and they just barely survived. Killing Floor is at its best when we end a play match, and it's like all of us are playing, and it's like just Chris survives, right? And we're like on the edge of our seat, wiping the sweat from our brow, that moment of like get to the chopper.
Hell on
right?
Earth
That,
does feel like that
just barely
multiplayer.
surviving. And I think that's that balance of horror and action where you're pushing people to the edge of their seats, but giving them enough tools, but kind of managing their resources as well to fight these enemies. So it's not like a complete power fantasy, but it's not like this, you know, game where you have a flashlight and 6 bullets. Where is that in between to kind of find the perfect balance between action and horror?
I was going to say, I'm sure many of you have been in a late night session with friends where you were holding great, everything was perfect, and then the Scrake busted into the room, and you all went different directions, and then there's a lot of screaming about where you're all meeting up, and then who's chasing who, and hopefully you all didn't die, but many of you did. And then in text chat, there was a lot of www.SSSS. Oh, I opened the console. My bad.
Yeah, I've done that many times.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you guys think about the starting hub? I think it could have used more work.
Because in Killing Floor 2, I absolutely adored the weapon functions, and in Killing Floor 3, I'm assuming you put just as, like you said, it's just as much detail. Have any of you guys fired weapons and like gotten that actual experience? And then I have a
But yeah, I think the hub needs more work. Like Deep Rock Galactic has like a bar in it and stuff, like activities, whereas Stronghold don't really do much.
I'll start with the balance one. There's a reason we didn't play Hell on Earth. Like we have a group that is a series of fans that are very intense, and we play test and we observe them, and they keep joking. Rage Quitters, I'm sure you're watching this. He has invited me multiple times to play Hell on Earth and teach me how to survive at that level, so I'll probably need to take you up on that. Can you are you at Hell on Earth level? Like, can you in the level design team?
If we set
Strong
so
flex.
with the balance when we're testing stuff out is we have certain levels of character. So if we're doing the lower stuff with normal, then we'll set it to 0 to 5, and if we're doing hard, we go up to 15. And Hell on Earth as we max some of the stuff out. So we have
So Rage Quitters
specifics in
here.
place of like how we want to test that stuff out appropriately.
Rage Quitters
As far as
mentioned.
real-world weapons,
People
I was
do know
literally
them.
just showing these guys where I did a test at a gun range like the first month of development where I had to use a shotgun to shoot a paper target of saving a hostage. I did it better than you think, so if you're ever in that scenario, I got your guys back. You might get 1 or 2 pellets peppered into your cheek, but let's be honest, you'll get a really cool story out of it.
I'll just add on to that because it's been a little bit different since we went all work from home, but there are times when the majority of Tripwire has had some range time, has had time with all the weapons. Like our 3D artists have had weapons, you know, disassembled in front of them so they see how they work and how stuff works. So there's a lot of people who care very deeply about not just the looks, but the feel and things like that.
I have one more follow-up question.
Please.
Do you guys have favorite weapons that you got to shoot in real life?
MP5.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, MP5 was
Easily.
a
MP5
blast.
is the easiest and greatest weapon to feel, but shooting like an MG42 or MG3, the modern equivalent.
Room 14 would be
there's
my
nothing like it.
favourite. Well, I think it's even
It's-
legal
Because
in my
I
country.
fired 14s, they're like the snipers and stuff like that. They're amazing.
Yeah. Fun fact, that was the first trip that I was given a business credit card on, so thank you, Matt, because that was shocking. Taking like 15 developers to the gun range, and they're like, and here's your bill, sir. And I was like, am I?
Oh my god.
That's a lot of bullets.
Thank you so much.
They
Thank
go really
you.
fast.
Thank you.
Full automatic weapons.
Yeah.
Hi, how have you guys addressed game optimization since the beta, and what can we expect out of optimization at launch?
Yeah, for sure. So performance was one of the larger bits of feedback. Aaron Molina, our technical director, and in all honesty, every developer, because performance is a little bit of everyone's job, we've been really focused on it. And in fact, that is basically our primary focus right now is like balance, bug fixing, and performance. And I mean, like, we literally sent Jared with a build Thursday at the booth?
Wednesday, but yeah, starting
and
Thursday.
We had an updated build for him yesterday. So if you came by the booth Thursday and you played it, go back to the booth today. There was already a new build with better performance, more updates, more balance in there. So basically every day we're just continuing to look at any element that we can improve performance to make the game enjoyable for everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. Besides, thank you for DJ Scully and everything.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
So everyone's happy about that.
Question. Are characters going to be into perks? Like how...
That's the
Like,
big
it's
question.
Okay, like I'm so excited for this new game. I really am. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to play and everything. But is that like something that could continue? Because I'm okay with it. But that's just a quick question.
I appreciate it. I will address, obviously, one of the elephants in the room. Another big bit of feedback was basically specialists, right? Let's talk about what specialists mean, right? So originally, the idea was to essentially role play as one of these badass individuals on the team. Learn a little bit more about their story, how they joined Nightfall, what makes them unique. How do you coordinate as a team to fight alongside each other? We missed the mark with that, right? You guys want that freedom and player choice to be any one of these characters that you enjoy and to do any perk. So outside of working on performance, there's also a group of artists, designers, and developers working on what does it look like for any specialist to be any perk. And we kind of attack that from even a creative standpoint. So Cordelia Claimley, who's the leader of Nightfall, how would she come to the team and be like, I need all of you guys to use all of each other's equipments. I need you to not only be an awesome commando, but I need you to be an awesome sharpshooter as well. I need you also to be an awesome firebug, right? So that is something that the team is working on, that you will have that option post-launch. It is one of our highest priorities to address that bit of feedback now.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
You're welcome.
post-launch.
I will say we're coming up near our end. I do believe we do need to get our raffle. So let's try and do one more question quickly, and then everybody else kind of meet us outside, and we'll be happy to continue.
Cool, thank you.
All right. I was just wondering, will we see the return of Krampus and Bansetta and some events going on?
I will say that there is a bad Santa Easter egg that I was telling these guys about that was hidden. So he's at least acknowledged that it is somewhere within the world. How that evolves, we will have to see.
Depends on how naughty or nice y'all are.
Oh my God. All right, so I'm going to pass it to our
Tickets right there.
tickets right there. I'm going to pass it to Trent to do a little bit of a raffle for you guys.
Here you go, Jared.
Oh, inside here? All right, cool.
I'll let you draw.
Okay.
For the keyboard.
What is it?
And you know exactly which one. That's for last week's one, or the parallel dimension. We're gonna do 192239.
39.
Oh, there we go. Awesome. And that was for the keyboard. All right,
Got a
Alienware
mouse.
keyboard. Massive thank you to Alienware. Now we're going to do for the Alienware Pro Wireless Gaming Mouse 192232. Oh, yeah. Okay, so one of the things that you guys don't see up on the board, but that we'll be giving away is there is SteelSeries Apex Pro TKL keyboard. That's the one that's given away
Yeah,
here.
Killing Floor 3
We're
on the
going to
platform of your
do
choice. Cool.
192230. Yeah, we're going to be sending that one out to you, but if come on up, we'll get your information.
Yep, same for the copies of Killing Floor 3 too. We'll give out a few of those.
So yeah, if you guys want to hang out up here, we'll get that for you. And now we're going to do the SteelSeries headset. And this is going to be 215. Anyone's ending in 215. So it'll be 192215. All right. And now we're going to
5 copies of the game.
Speed raffle 5 copies of the game. So if you come up here, we'll get your info and then send you a copy. We're going to start with 271, 103, 102, and 241, and then 165. So once again, numbers 192271, come on up. 192103, come on up. And then 192102.
Let's maybe get an hour with this then.
1922.
I thought it'd be a bit longer, but still
and
good.
then 192165. Come on up for a free copy. We've got 4 seconds.
And there's
We'll
the
meet you
release
guys
date.
in the lobby. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is basically everything. We'll do a quick recap. So, of course, I'll probably turn this into a video. Like re-upload the stream as like a video part of it. But yeah, the majority of it, I'm still gonna do on stream. So I think that is it, isn't it? Yeah, that's basically it.
Corey, who's also
Goodwin, I'm the lead level designer.
So yeah, let's have a look through, see what we can find. Definitely some very interesting stuff. What's all of your favourites so far? Did you like the Scully reveal? Did you like the map reveal? Which one was your favourite? Like, man, look at this. I know this looks like some of the back rooms. Of course, this isn't the actual map, but yeah, it's proper interesting. Like, they've improved the lighting and like the maps like so much. Like, this actually looks like something out of Waterworks. Oh yeah, the weapon reveals. Yeah, you can't forget about that. So you've actually got a top-down view of what the map will look like. Actually got. I don't know whether we've seen this already, but we've got the concept art for the map. It looks cool, like these growing vines and stuff. Looks like Maya. Yeah, these are some proper cool stuff. Yeah, there's a Killing Floor 2 maps. I love this as well. Like, you can see the light coming down here. You got a bit more graffiti on the walls. Everything looks so much grittier. Like, it honestly does scream Killing Floor 1. I absolutely love it. Like, it definitely reminds you of, Waterworks. And it's supposed to be pretty claustrophobic as well. And even got, like, different, lighting stuff.
Behind the scenes, here's some screenshots of the actors.
Like, behind the scenes development. Look at all this stuff going on. That looks cool, not gonna lie. Yeah, it sure does. Like, you got, like, loads of lines coming down here, lines going this way. Of course, this map looks very complex.
That we work with in the Unreal 5 engine. So we have a bunch we do.
We've actually got the outside area here, so it's like there's a destructible door here. Got destructible walls. This looks like it goes somewhere around here. Looks like a proper, sewage system, which is cool. And yeah, it is really cool to see, like, you know, behind the scenes of all this, like, you know, how the maps come together. Trader pod, I think that is there. We got a fan trap here. I think this is a doorway here, with some destructible doors. Obviously, an entrance way here. You got stairs, entrance there, entrance there. This will look like a good holdout area. But of course, like, you could easily get overwhelmed. You could probably hold them off from this door with the door trap. There's also something in here as well. I think there's a crawler being experimented on. Definitely be interesting to see what that's like with the story. Yeah, like spider concepts and stuff. It's cool. Love that. Like, look at the lighting in this map as well. Like, it obviously looks so much better. You got like this light coming down here. You got like flesh and stuff. You know, of course, the maps now look a lot more grittier. And here as well, you actually got like Maya and stuff. I think that's the armor crate there. You can get armor from. And there's a camera here as well. I just noticed, like, pointing towards this thing. Probably a portal to like some Maya dimension or something. And yeah, again, we've got another image of the like crawler vines coming off of here, maybe. Yeah, this map certainly does look cool. Yeah, and also the Manita reference, which is pretty cool. Of course, it's set in the sewers, so it'll be quite similar to Manita. I know Manita actually has some references to Killing Floor as well. Like, if you look around the map for Manita, you can actually see like Killing Floor, like not tripwire, Halsey references. You've got a trader pod here. This map does look very claustrophobic. Also, you can easily get stuck in here. And yeah, we got some map areas here. That looks like something you can shoot to get scrap from. This whole area here, I don't know whether this is a whole playable area, but this looks like you can go around somewhere. Hello, hello. Right, there you go. Mic just cut out for a second, but yeah, like, we got whole different playable spaces now. You got like sewage pipes here, which I know these red spots here you can actually shoot and it will basically spill sewage onto enemies, environmental traps from Killing Floor 2. Which again looks cool. Yeah, again, like, very battery kind of theme. Got a turret here. Again, this looks so much like Waterworks. Because you've got like the light coming down. It just reminds me so much of Waterworks. And yeah, actual gameplay here as well. Like, they've actually shown off proper gameplay. You can see the HUD is basically, you know, a lot different. I know it is a little bit blurry, so I do apologise for that, but yeah, animations, I don't know, animations, I know they're ported over from Killing Floor 2, but they feel a lot more smoother. Yeah, even that Scrake spinning round, like, the animation looks a lot smoother, rather than the closed beta animation where it just, like, it was very broken, the animation. Like, that looks actual smooth. Why do I feel like the weapons feel weak? Probably, like, I mean, this doesn't have any attachments on it, so I'm not sure if it's probably due to attachments or it could be difficulty. But yeah, animations do look better. They definitely do look better. Of course, I ported over from Killing Floor 2, so they do look better. Yeah, difficulty hard, so I mean, I think that's medium difficulty, really. I don't remember there being a suicidal from what I remember. in the closed beta.
That hook pulling is devastating, but I will show you in a minute a cool way that you can utilize it to work in your favor as well. Also, please always just punch crawlers in the face.
Oh yeah, you can see like obviously the blood effects are a lot better. Like you shot that gore fast in the neck, and you can see it just spitting out. That's cool. Sorry, do give me a second.
It's time to dive into a world where the dead don't lie. Fighting through the night, never alone. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Wizard piece of case, got the flow, the game never quit. A journey begins. From FPS battles to the undead's reign. He thrives where others feel the strain. It's not just a game, it's a way to survive. With every move he's staying alive. Leading the charge, blazing the trail. In this world of chaos he never fails. Wizard TZK lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his work is done. Is done. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Headshots and glory, blood and bone.
Right. Dog decides it wants to bark halfway through, so sorry about that. Yeah, anyway, talking about the actual map itself. It definitely looks a lot better. Like the HUD, the animations. Of course, this is streamed, so the quality isn't that great, but I haven't really seen much jank, really, in terms of gameplay. So it looks like they fixed quite a lot of stuff. Hi, Rizzo, how's it going? Doing good, Brizoft. Just having a look at this. Oh, here we go. We got the confidential. Oh yeah, sure as hell is looking good. So this is the jungle map we've actually seen. They basically showed off some concept art for it, which was, this is the jungle map here. So I think this is coming post-launch maps. So this is the jungle. I've actually shown off some gameplay of it.
What are NDAs and how do those work?
Yeah, so this is like Z Landing mixed with like what's the other map on Killing Floor 3 on launch? I've seen some gameplay of it, but it was like some kind of mountain pass kind of map, which I saw in some trailers. Looked kind of similar to that actually. It's cool. Like some jungle forest with. Yeah, you can see it's obviously still in development with the blocking out stuff. It reminds me of Black Forest, yeah. Oh yeah, traps there and stuff. Yeah, so this is the new map. We've actually got a helicopter landing here.
Sorry, maybe? We'll get that fixed. Let's do this. While you fix the feed, why don't we just show you live gameplay, and we'll try to see if Jared can survive a gameplay in sewers. Does that sound good?
Let's see if I can do it better than Tiago. And since you said use your flashlight, let's do a no flashlight run.
By the way, it's no pressure playing the game in front of a room full of people. That's like, not single headshots, please.
knowing your play spaces is key. So one of the first things I like to do is make sure I have additional places to loop around, such as to this particular room. As I get rid of this door fast on my trail.
Gorefast have kind of changed pretty dramatically, where almost think of them as like velociraptors, where they kind of hunt in packs, and if you stray away from the team, you all of a sudden be like, why are there like an excessive number of Gorefast hunting me? They will basically look and hunt for the outlier. So when you're playing,
So yeah, that is basically gameplay. Again, you know, just like I said before, it looks very smooth. Yeah, the actual Z time here as well, I actually completely forgot about. I'm pretty sure you can actually hear the original sound for it. Yeah, that's the Killing Floor 1 Z time sound. It's hot at the moment, that's why I'm probably not talking as much, but I am sweating. I'm not recording this while streaming this, but yeah, it is hot outside. But yeah, that's the actual Z time being reworked, so actually if I can find it again. Yeah, it's actual, everything's all black and white. We still got the Z time bar up here, which is a little bit annoying. I'm personally not a fan of it, but it just is what it is.
Were you guys hiding those, or were Misty hiding them? It's a Dr. Hook.
Yeah.
Those larger Zeds. Audience, maybe he can just...
Hang on, maybe we've gone past the Scully bit. Oh, wait, I didn't realise this.
Fire a copy. Yeah, so... I don't know what's happening right here. It's still kind of glitching out, but...
I thought we...
So they actually just teased Scully right there. I didn't even notice that when I was watching it.
Happening right here. It's still kind of glitching out, but...
I thought we fixed this.
No.
I didn't even notice this when I was watching it, but it actually teased Scully. So, of course, Scully looks the exact same. He's got his goggles, the headphones. No, I actually didn't notice that until they actually showed it off a bit later. I think it was here when they showed off Scully. But yeah, I mean, it looks a lot better, in my opinion, than the other specialists. I think that's mostly more because he's military-like, whereas the other ones feel... don't they kind of feel a little bit out of place with the colour scheme, but this actually does feel military-like. He's got his gloves, his goggles, his headphones. Well, it looks like he's holding 2 Desert Eagles as well. So maybe Gunslinger could return. Just saying. Hopefully it's not tied to Scully. I know they did actually confirm here that they're actually working on post-launch content to remove specialists. I'll get into that a bit more later, but of course, here we actually got a look at our post-launch map, or maps rather. This is the jungle, which we showed off gameplay before. I know this video isn't very well put together. It's very broken in some areas, but yeah, we're just having a look at all this concept art. Again, this looks something like out of Killing Floor 1, which is really cool. Also got Outpost 2.0 here. Kind of reminds me of Prison, yeah. Yeah, it definitely does remind me a lot of Prison, that jungle map. I think they did say it was some kind of prison map as well. They got somebody in the tower here. It's interesting. Maybe you could go into those towers. Yeah, it's definitely like Outpost, which is cool. You got a load of covers as well. A load of cover on here. Inside here too, it looks like Bedlam. Like, the party map from Killing Floor 1. Also mixed with Monster Ball. It's cool. Looks like someone's birthday party has gone wrong. Some guy sat here too. But yeah, this looks cool as hell. Some post-launch maps for post-launch. Hopefully it do be looking good. Oh yeah, and you can't forget as well, we've also got some new guns. The Winchester SPX from Killing Floor 2. I don't know which one it is, but we got some SPX Winchester here. we're going back to that grounded reality of weapons. They feel a lot more grounded rather than sci-fi futuristic. Also confirmed double barrel for support, or engineer rather. It's cool. Also, we got some new guns though. My M14. Oh, love that. I love that M14. Also, if you actually look at my profile picture on my channel, I've actually got the M14 like just on the right of the skull because it's my favourite Killing Floor 2 weapon and Killing Floor 1 weapon. Now this is back, I'm so happy. I absolutely love using the M14. It's my favourite sharpshooter weapon. Man, that was honestly a surprise when I first saw that. And yeah, here we've actually got looks like some kind of AK. Definitely some more commando weapons. This is probably something for the medic or maybe a SWAT perk. Some kind of SMG. It's going to be a meta weapon. Yeah, it sure is. It's going to be pretty overpowered, I feel, the M14. And yeah, we got the concept art here for Scully, which we've already seen. I believe these were the questions. I'll try and find the bit where they talk about the specialists, because that's the most important.
I need you to not only be in fact, that new build.
I'm so glad somebody asked about the specialists as well when they did the Q&A, because that was definitely a really good sign. Although it is post-launch, they're going to be changing the specialists. I mean, at least they're doing it rather than never. I think is a really good thing. I'm definitely so happy about this. There's so much news and stuff.
Are characters going to be into perks? Like how like it's okay. Like I'm so excited for this new game. I really am. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to play and everything. But is that like something that could continue? Because I'm okay with it. But that's just a quick question.
I appreciate it. I will address, obviously, one of the elephants in the room. Another big bit of feedback was basically specialists, right? Let's talk about what specialists mean, right? So originally, the idea was to essentially role play as one of these badass individuals on the team. Learn a little bit more about their story, how they joined Nightfall, what makes them unique. How do you coordinate as a team to fight alongside each other? We missed the mark with that, right? You guys want that freedom and player choice to be any one of these characters that you enjoy and to do any perk. So outside of working on performance, there's also a group of artists, designers, and developers working on what does it look like for any specialist to be any perk. And we kind of attacked that from even a creative standpoint. So Cordelia Claimley, who's the leader of Nightfall, how would she come to the team and be like, I need all of you guys to use all of each other's equipments. I need you to not only be an awesome commando, but I need you to be an awesome sharpshooter as well. I need you also to be an awesome firebug, right? So that is something that the team is working on, that you will have that option post-launch. It is one of our highest priorities to address that bit of feedback now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you.
I just realised my mic was muted, god damn it. But yeah, basically, yeah, you heard it first. Specialists are being removed. You know, one of people's biggest complaints. You know, of course, I do understand where they're coming from. And yeah, you know, it's really nice to see it is being addressed. Really good sign, because for me, Killing Floor was never really like a hero shooter kind of thing. It just didn't really fit with the actual game's like play style. But yeah, you know, it's really nice to see they're taking the feedback on board, no matter how harsh. And yeah, this last couple of minutes was just a giveaway. And of course, these couple of minutes were just well, not so much gameplay, but just answering questions. So yeah, I basically, you know, I try my best to round it all up. Of course, I might miss one or two things. But yeah, we're going to end the stream here. I'm going to end the video here if you're watching this a bit later on. So, you know, thank you all for watching this along with me. And, yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, join Discord if you're new, and I'll see you all very soon.
It's time to dive into a world where the dead don't lie. Fighting through the night, never alone. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Got the flow, the game never click. The journey begins. From FPS battles to the under. thrives where others feel the strain. It's not just a game, it's a way to survive. With every move he's staying alive, leading the charge, blazing the trail. In this world of chaos he never fails. Wizard TZK lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his work is done. Is done. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Headshots and glory, blood and bone. Headshot TZK's got the flow, the game. Every clip, a journey begins. From FPS battles to the undead's reign, he thrives where others feel the strain. It's not just a game, it's a way to survive. With every move he's staying alive, leading the charge, blazing the trail. In this world of chaos he never fails. Wizard TZK lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his work is done. Wizard TZK lights up the night, strengthening the fight, saving the world one bullet at a time. And he won't stop until his work is done. Is done. Locked and loaded, it's time.